Good morning from beautiful Cairo. I'm currently on my way to the rooftop terrace to have some breakfast to start my day before I go and do some sightseeing activities. After that, I'm meeting up with my travel talk tour group, which I'll be with for the next 2 weeks as we travel around Egypt and into Jordan. I've got some cool stuff on the agenda today. Come join me for an adventure. This would have to be my favorite elevator of all time. Not only is it decorated with awesome Egyptian artwork, when you push this button to go up, the face of the elevator moves with you. Not only is the complimentary breakfast here at the Great Pyramid Inn absolutely amazing, it's probably got one of the best breakfast views that you could ever possibly imagine waking up to. Check this out. I'm definitely gonna miss this place. To a place called Memphis, which is the old capital of ancient Egypt. I'm going to visit a museum which was purposely built to house a very significant ancient Egyptian artifact. I'm pretty keen to check it out. Let's go. I have just arrived at the museum, and for the best part of it, this place is an open-aired museum, except for one particular area which I'm standing in now, which houses probably the most significant artifact here, which is a 10-meter long limestone statue of King Ramses II. This thing is absolutely incredible. King Ramses II considered himself to be the ruler of all rulers, and as a consequence of that, he is the most heavily documented ancient Egyptian king of all time. There are more images, statues, and depictions of this man here than anyone else from the ancient Egyptian world. When this statue was later discovered, they found it lying in this marshy area with this side exposed to the elements, and you can definitely see the toll the weather has taken on it in comparison to this side, which is still like perfectly smooth because it was hidden in the sand and was well preserved for that reason.
The Sphinx of Memphis was uncovered in 1912, and it's considered to be the second largest sphinx discovered in ancient Egypt, the first one being the one featured at the pyramids of Giza. The body of the lion represents power, which is why pharaohs would put their heads on top of it to show how powerful and how much ruling they had over a particular area. But the only problem with this particular sphinx is that it has no clear indication of which pharaoh it's actually depicting. Museum was actually really cool. There are a ton of different artifacts to look at and it was super interesting, but unfortunately some of the temples around that area were actually closed today, so I didn't get to go and explore them, but I've still got some cool things planned. Next stop, I'm heading to the Cairo Tower. Driving across the Nile River right there, pretty cool to see. Just arrived at Cairo Tower. This building is 187 meters tall and it's the tallest structure in all of Egypt, so I'd like to think that it has the best views of Cairo. Awesome, thank you. Hey sir, how's it going? The Cairo Tower did not disappoint. Fantastic views at the top of that structure, and it's definitely the place to go if you want a good look at the cityscape of Cairo. I've got one last place to visit today, and to be honest, I'm pretty excited to check it out. Thank you. These guys are shooting a movie in the background. How awesome is that? It's really no secret that ancient Egyptians were masters of engineering, so it didn't really surprise me when I read about this place online. I'm here visiting a thing called a Nilometer or a Nilometer. There's a couple of ways to pronounce it, but essentially this was a structure that was used to help keep track of the water level and the clarity of the Nile, which was super important back in ancient times. Let's go check this place out. So just to explain how a Nilometer works, they have this central pole that has markings and measurement increments on it. And what would happen is, in flood season, water would come through these little gates and holes and fill up this chamber, and they would come and measure the flood levels on this pole to get an indication of whether or not it was going to be a good or a bad flood season, because floods were really important in Egypt. Floods would flood crop areas, and when they would bring in new, rich soil and put onto the crop areas, which would mean that crops would grow better after a flood. So if they didn't have a good flood season, crops would be diminished and you'd go into famine. So having this amazing piece of ancient engineering was such an important indication of whether or not you were going to have a good season of food, or whether or not you're going to be really hard done by. This piece of engineering dates back to like 3000 BC, and they were usually built near religious sites and maintained by priests, because the priests would then use that information to help tell the common people, which would often be interpreted as them having some kind of divine intervention or knowledge about the flood levels or something that was going to happen. So it kind of inspired a bit of belief for them. I can't help but feel that this place is a massively underrated tourist attraction. It was so interesting and so cool to check out, and it just blows my mind when I come to places like this and there is no one here. It was the perfect way to finish my day of sightseeing. Hello? So the plan for this afternoon, I'm now heading back to the Great Pyramid Inn where I'm going to pick up my bags. Then I'm going to go to my new hotel where I'm scheduled to meet my Travel Talk tour group. I'm running a little bit late, so fingers crossed we get there on time. Thank you so much, man. That was awesome. Thank you. Just arriving at the new hotel. We're meeting here at the Pyramid Park Resort Hotel. I'm kind of a little bit nervous to meet everyone. Thank you, sir. Wow, this is nice. Check this place out. Thank you so much for taking my bags there, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Just dropped my bags off to my new room. I'm on my way now to the reception so I can meet the Travel Talk tour guide. Let's see how this goes. Just finished our Travel Talk orientation meeting, met everyone, really cool group of people. We're going out for a welcome dinner now. It's a cruise dinner along the Nile. Should be fun.
ماليش حبايب يا عيني وانا نصيبي بحلم بغنيك حبيبي وفين حبيبي ماليش حبايب يا عيني وانا نصيبي من زمان الصراحة
back at the hotel after our welcome cruise dinner on the Nile. It was actually really cool. The food was really nice, the entertainment was awesome, and it was just a great way to get to know the people on my Travel Talk tour. I'm really excited to see how this adventure unfolds. We've got some amazing stuff planned for the next couple of weeks. Let's see what tomorrow brings.